I'm a little bit hurt, but a lot more free. I ain't saying that you never took a toll on me.
Our KVK 3 has officially ended, and this means it is finally Pew Pew time.
Spartan! What is your profession?
What's going on, my beautiful governors? Today we're going to discuss the possible siege investment on our restart account. But before we do that, if you're, let's say, in the earlier KVKs, and if you're wondering when do you get your hands, when you're able to get your hands on these ranged, siege, engineering, whatever you want to call it, these types of commanders, is that the day your KVK ends, this event will pop up and you'll be able to get your hands on Gajah. And after this one, for example, for my account, it's going to be the next Tuesday. When we have the Wheel of Fortune, it's going to be leadership and engineering Wheel of Fortune. So if I want to, I can summon commanders like Gonzalo de Cordoba or Babur. But basically, if you want to try out a siege march, a ranged march, you have to finish your KVK 3. Now that we got the timeline out of the way, let's talk about our possible investment on engineering commanders for our restart account. And the way we're going to do it is going to be very, very specific. I'll explain what I mean just in a moment. Now first, let me go over a few reasons why I'm investing on a siege march in the first place. Then I'll explain exactly why I'm investing in a very specific way. And I'll be very quick about this because I don't want to turn this into a siege march pros and cons video. Reason number one is this is ranged combat. This is completely different. On my previous Rise of Kingdoms account and this one as well, when it comes to field fighting, I played it very regularly, just like everyone else, which means I used commanders like Liu Che, William Wallace, Minamoto, Joan of Arc, you name it. But of course, ranged combat is completely different, and I'm hoping that when I invest on this march, and let me show you real quick, if for some reason you've never seen it, you go to a location, you start building your tower, and once this is built, you can start firing off. And I think this type of gameplay will just make me feel that I'm playing a different game. And I do want that because I love Rise of Kingdoms, but yes, I'm gonna be honest, it can get repetitive. And since this is a completely new approach to field fighting, I at least want to give it a shot. And my reason number two is basically you, because I know for a fact that there are a lot of people, or at least some of my viewers, that wants to invest on a siege march, but they're just not sure because in Rise of Kingdoms, you cannot invest on a march, you cannot spend like 690 sculptures on a commander and then say, oh, okay, I don't like it, I'm not going to use that commander, so let me get my sculptures back and invest on a different one. You can't do that. When you spend these, they're gone. When you craft legendary equipment, at least half of the materials are gone, plus the blueprints and gold. So I want to risk my own account and show you that if it's worth investing on a ranged march or not. And reason number three will be just simply the equipment of Siege March. Because if you never compare it, let's look at the chest, for example. The highest one that you can get, the highest number that you can get is 12% of stats. Let's take a look at the Siege one, 14.5% plus March speed. Same story when it comes to legs. High stats, 12%, but on the Siege one, 14.5% again plus the March speed. Let's take a look at the boots. The highest number that you can get is 8% of stats, and the Siege one is 10% again plus the March speed. So this whole Siege equipment is like already special talented, and on top of that, if you get the special talented, since it increases its stats by a percentage, in total you will get crazy amount of stats plus the march speed, and I think that is one of the major benefits of running a siege march. Now let me explain the way we are going to invest it, what's that specific way that we are going to invest it, and why I am doing it this way. Whenever I watch videos on engineering commanders, ranged combat, whatever, there are a lot of people in the comment section down below who are hesitant to invest on one because they've never experienced a siege combat and they unfortunately don't know at what point those commanders become field viable. And the term usable or field viable is way different in earlier KVKs compared to a Season of Conquest KVK. And that's the main reason why they usually stick on the good old regular commanders who are proven to be extremely powerful and used by 99% of the players. And as you can see, I did the same. I did invest on William Wallace and Liu Che. I expertise them both and spent 1,380 sculptures on them. But I wanted to try the range combat as well. I thought, what would be the perfect way to invest on these siege commanders and experience them, then I can also turn it into a very insightful content. And then I came up with a 3-step investment plan. For the first year, we are going to barely invest on 2 of these siege commanders. At this moment, I'm planning to invest on Gonzalo and Gajah, but please keep in mind that in December, there is a chance that we might get new engineering commanders. So the names might change, but one certain thing is that I will invest on 2 siege commanders. Let's say for now, it's going to be Gonzalo and Gajah. And for our low tier investments, I will only invest 190 sculptures on both commanders, meaning that each commander will be only at 5511, which is basically like the bare minimum investment, and pretty much anyone that's in a season of conquest will have enough sculptures to get 2 commanders to 5511. But of course, this is only the sculpture wise. If we go back to our blacksmith and take a look at the equipment, for the first year of investment, I will only use a 4 pieces harvester set. Yes, 4 pieces harvester gathering set, because it literally costs only animal bones. It doesn't even cost you actual materials like ore, ebony, or leather. It costs literally animal bones. But of course, since it's only 4 pieces, we are going to finish it off with the epic siege weapon and epic siege gloves. And if somehow until our first season of conquest fighting starts, which is months away, I cannot get the blueprint of this epic, I'll then just use a Scepter of the Forest Guardian, which only gives 6% siege unit defense. But I'm pretty sure that I can get it, so with a 99.9% of chance, this is going to be our equipment configuration for the low investment tier. But then of course we have the one final thing, which is the armaments. If we take a look at my current armaments for V formation, they are literally garbage. So until the first fighting starts, I will try to get some okay-ish armaments from traveling and dispatching, and only use those ones, nothing else. So sculpture wise, let's go back to our commanders again, assuming that the march is going to be Gajamada and Cordoba. Their skill configurations will only be 5511, their equipment will be extremely cheap, and their armaments will only consist the ones that I will get from traveling and dispatching. And that will complete our low tier investments on siege commanders. And then we are going to move on to the middle tier. What we are going to do, let's start with the commander skill configuration. We will invest a bit more sculptures on both commanders and get them to 5551. And even though on paper it looks like only one more skill upgrade to 5, it will literally double the number of sculptures that we need to use. And when it comes to their gear, we will of course get rid of this harvester set, and I will simply craft a full epic set. The reason why I want to craft only epics, because of course we will have the blueprints for legendaries as well, but the reason why I only want to craft epics is because when you dismantle an epic equipment, you get all the materials back, but if you dismantle a legendary, you only get half of it back. Yes, in the end, when we get into the high investment tier, we will craft as many legendaries that we can, but I simply want to show you the performance of a full epic set, so that if you don't want to craft any legendaries, you know exactly what to expect from that march and how those commanders will perform. And for armaments, it's going to be the same thing. I will only open epic formation choice chest without touching any legendary formation chests. So most likely our armament set will also be fully epic. So this is going to be our mid investment tier. And once we have this configuration, what we are going to do with our march is of course fight with them with 1 week, just like we did with the low investment tier, and then compare the results, compare the battle reports between the low investment tier and the mid investment, so we'll know exactly what we spent and in return what we got. And then finally on week 3, I will expertise both commanders. I will spend a lot of materials crafting the best possible gear that I can craft for them, and also I will open every single formation choice chest again for V formation to be able to get the best possible armaments for my siege march. And we will fight with that configuration for another week. And finally, we will be able to make a great video comparing all 3 tiers of investment, so that you can decide if you really want to invest on a siege march, and if you do, how far you want to go with it. So this is a project that will take me a few months, but in the end, you will learn everything that you need to know about engineering commanders and range combat. If you don't want to miss it, make sure to hit subscribe. I see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.